What's going on? What's going down? This hood atheist back again, man. Alright, so today we're gonna be discussing Noah's Ark and the insanity of people to think that actually happened. Alright, so we're gonna start from this. We're gonna start from God being angry that people were sinning all over. Well, not even all over, a Pacific part of the world. People were sinning. And in turn of people sinning, God actually killed the whole world. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking innocent babies, dogs, cats, kangaroos, pandas, anything you can name, they died from the wrath of God. They had nothing to do with it. They didn't know anything what was going on. But yet they suffered. Yet they went through it. You know? So let's start from this. Noah was over 100 years old, right? So this old guy, God came to and told him what the deal was, and told him, being that you was one of my loyal servants, I'm gonna spare your life, right? Said he's gonna spare his life because he was one of his loyal servants. Like there was no other loyal servants on the planet that loved God like Noah, right? Because the thing that God was doing is God was being he was being the parent that favored a certain child over the other, right? So God is hundreds of years old, right? Excuse me, Noah is over 100 years old. And Noah basically chopped trees down to actually build a boat for him and his family, to be saved. So my question would be is how does 100-year-old guy even have the strength or even the capacity to chop down trees? To chop down, do you know how many trees Noah would have to chop down to actually build a boat of that magnitude? Do you understand what we're talking about? We're not talking about one or two trees. We're talking about trees that's going to build the boat so it can actually house two of every animal on the planet, which is ridiculous for a guy over that age to even be doing physically. So that alone is almost insane to even think that a guy of that age can do that, right? So now we switch to the portion of God actually saying, okay, he gives the okay, and now Noah builds the boat. So when Noah has the boat finished, there's two animals from the planet, two of each animals, which is a pair, you know from each, um how would I say, I would say from each species, right? So now we got the boat going, the animals on the boat. Now the first problem would be, how do you deal with the animal's waste, right? Because feces, urine of these animals is basically, you have to clean this boat. You have to make sure that this waste from the animals are off this boat. Or what would happen? The thing that would happen is that your feces give off methane. People can die from methane poisoning. So to even think that those little bit of people that was on a boat can actually get rid of the waste of two of each animal on the planet is ridiculous. They couldn't even get rid of waste of 100 animals, let alone thousands or maybe even millions. I might be pushing it with that. But let's say even 4 or 5 thousand of different species. Do you know what it would take to actually clean the waste of these animals? That would be a full-time job within the people that's on the boat. But that would be impossible because that would not even be done because the full-time job would turn to a job that's never completed. You will always have waste on this boat, right? So imagine the smell. Just imagine the smell of the boat just alone. And the audacity of God to actually say, Noah, I need for you to build this boat because this boat will save you and your family. The audacity to him to have the over 100-year-old man actually do that. Like, how can he actually look at it, have this old man chop down all these trees when he's all knowing, all powerful? So that would mean that he already knows that these people that he's punishing was going to sin anyway. Why? Because he created the people. Another point is because he's all knowing. So if I know that something is going to happen and I created the process to make it happen, why would I be upset when it turns out to be just the way I thought it would be or the way I envisioned it? No, there wouldn't be no surprises within that. There's no surprises. So when God actually, he's surprised when people sin. You created these people. You knew that this would happen. You're all knowing. You're all powerful. So why do you sit there and act like you don't know? When people sin, you sit there surprised. Surprised. Why? You're all knowing. You created this. Why are you surprised? You knew this was going to happen. Why do you get angry? Why do you kill people? That would be the question. So now we have a situation where even the fishes died from drowning. So even the fishes, do you understand what I'm saying? So the fishes that were already in the ocean they died. What happened? Did they drown? No, the sea level would just go up higher and they should survive because they live in water. So why is it such a crazy thing that they drown? The crazy thing is because they're fish. They live in water. It's almost ridiculous to think that they died. So let's take it a step further. So when this boat finally, reached back to land, let's go into that. Reach back to land. First of all, where did the water go? Did the water evaporate in that little bit of time? Where did the water go? Why does the water just cease to exist anymore? The boat lands, and how does the animals that were initially on the boat get back to their original land? How does the kangaroos get back to Australia? How does all these animals get back to their habitat from where they were? The journey of the animals would be ridiculous in itself. To think that polar bears, from wherever they were, made it back to cold climate. It's ridiculous to think so. So now, I guess Noah becomes God right hand man based off of what he's done. So now, God sends a rainbow in the sky, almost to say, you know what? I'm sorry for what I did, and this rainbow is an actual post to say, I won't ever do this again. Why does he even have to do that when he was all knowing and he knew that this would happen in the first place? And now he's shocked that it happened. You know, these stories as a kid even made me think as a kid when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. I used to think in my head, well, why was God getting mad? Why was the question would be, why did God even get mad at Adam when Adam ate the apple? Why did God get mad when he's all knowing? When he knew the creation that he made would do that eventually because he's all knowing. So nothing is new to him. He knows this beforehand. This is nothing that should be a shock to him when he finds out and he gets angry. Almost like a toddler gets angry that they're not able to play in the park longer than they're supposed to. It's the same thing. And the reality of it is God doesn't exist, never existed. This is Hood Atheist, over and out. Stay in tune for the next one, because the next one, we're going to cover Adam and Eve. Over and out.